Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to deal with armchair critics and how you internalize it and let it impact your motivation either positively or negatively. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And this is generally for the layperson. I'm not necessarily talking about when people are critical of people who are professionals, who are again marketing themselves as fitness or lifting experts in any way. Yeah, you're going to receive legitimate criticism at that point. I get it. I give it out, right? I give a hell of a lot of it out to other YouTubers who are making their living or attempting to make their living in YouTube fitness, giving advice. You know, if they are weak, if they're pathetically weak, I'm going to call them out. I'm going to call them out big time. Now, I personally get my share of it, and we'll get to all you guys in a minute. I'm just going to point that out, though. Yeah, I get my share of it, but I look around and laugh because how many other YouTubers in their 40s lift what I lift? Particularly legit lifts, like pause, benching, actually reaching depth on squats without using knee wraps and all this stuff, actually raw squatting, all these things, not really out there. There aren't many. They're a tiny, tiny minority if they are. What, Mike O'Hearn? I don't know, maybe Mark Smelly Bell, I don't know, is he in his 40s yet? So the whole point is, though, I always laugh about that because I'm like, look, guys, there aren't that many guys out there hanging with me in my age group, all who are actually doing this in YouTube, so I kind of laugh it off. But you know what? I agree I'm not strong enough. I'm trying to get stronger. See, that's the point. I don't say, oh, I'm old, so I'm going to be weaker, so I just need to stay where I'm at and it'll be fine. No, I don't even look at it that way. And that's the point, guys. When people are critical and say, well, I think you should be stronger for this reason, I don't let that demotivate me, right? What do we do with that? We internalize that and say, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe I do need to be squatting 600 pounds. Maybe I do need a 600-pound raw squat. You know what? Let's work towards getting there. Let's work towards getting there. Yeah, I do need to be benching 400 plus. Just because I'm in my 40s is an excuse not to do it. Just because I'm just on TRT and not blasting gear, that's not an excuse. I'm injury free. I'm reasonably healthy. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and push towards those numbers. You know, these guys are right. I do need to be stronger. But I also laugh and know that I'm not weak. Now, I'm obviously going to be critical of other people who, if you're squatting 315 and you're making your living as a fitness YouTuber and you're struggling to hit depth with 315 on a squat, I'm gonna call that ass out. You know I am, because you shouldn't be giving training advice at that point, brother. You're just not qualified. You blast a little bit of Tren, all right, so you got a physique. You learn to starve yourself and use Tren. That does not make you a good person to go to for lifting advice. Now, for the rest of you, though, a lot of you younger guys, you'll get criticized. And I've had guys ask it, like, there are guys at my gym who make fun of me because I'm weak still. Well, you know what? Here's what I would say to you on that. What do you plan on doing about it? If you don't like it, then do something about it. Get stronger. Don't let it demotivate you. Don't let it demotivate you, because you know what? Maybe those guys, maybe they're being dicks. Maybe they're trying to help you. Maybe that they think that you're not putting in the effort. And they want to see you train harder. They want to see you push a little bit harder. And you know what? Unless they're total douchebags, if those guys are a lot stronger than you and they actually are, somewhat seasoned lifters, even if they're younger guys who are just clowning around, you got to remember, man, messing with other guys is just part of what younger guys do. It's just part of establishing pecking order, right? It's what guys do with their bros. Don't take it so personally. And if you know what, I promise you, like, let's say those guys are kind of laughing at you and you're doing sets, you can bench 120 pounds for 5 reps and, you can only deadlift 200 pounds for 5 reps and those guys are watching you and they're picking on you for being weak. Start getting stronger, train harder, eat a little more. Maybe they're making fun of you because you're spending too much time worried about your chiseled abs when you don't have a base yet, and they know that you just need to be eating and be stacking weight on the bar so that you will build a base so that you can finally get to where you want to be in the long term. But maybe they know you're never going to get there because you're too busy under eating and worrying about your abs instead of building a base that you can refine later, right? And you want those guys to stop picking on you. Put in the work, get stronger, impress them. Because if they see you benching 120 for 5 now and they look up and in a couple months you're benching 185 for 5 and you've gained 10, 12 pounds of body weight, and they see your 200 pound for 5 deadlift go up to 315 for 5, and they see you getting stronger and putting in the work, you're going to earn their respect. You're going to earn their respect because they know that you're a skinny, undertrained, under-eating noob. They know that. Maybe they just want to see what you'll do with a little bit of push. And maybe if they see you jump up and you add another 50, 60, 80 pounds to all your work sets over a few months, because you should be able to do that in a few months, those same guys at your gym are going to start picking on you. They're going to be like, okay, this guy's putting in the work now. He's getting stronger. Right? Then they might accept you as one of them, not even pick on you anymore, be like, hey man, we see you putting in the work. Come on over here, train with us. They might come over and encourage you. Because then they know that you're not a try-hard wannabe. They know that you're willing to do the work, and you just haven't had enough time to get there yet. Now, the other thing that people deal with is people on the internet. Well, you also need to remember when you have people who come in, if let's say you upload your stuff on your social media, and you have people coming in making fun of you. So what? So if you got people kind of make fun of you, realize that maybe they're strong, maybe they're not, maybe they don't even lift. Maybe most of the time those guys don't have any strength. They don't know what they're doing. Don't let them get to you. Laugh at them. Show them up. And what I would say to people is that if you can't handle a little bit of criticism of it, you probably don't want to put your lifts on the internet. Because if you do, you're going to be criticized. I mean, I get it every single day, guys, but I put up training footage 5-6 days a week. Right? I put up lifting every day. I get criticism when I deload. People want to make fun of it just because I'm deloading. Oh man, look, you took a deload. Oh, you're calling it a deload. They'll laugh. They'll mess with you, man. So what? Does it affect you? And what I would say to you, maybe you can use that to motivate yourself to stay consistent. All right? If people are picking on you about being weak or your lifts, instead of getting discouraged and getting upset, why don't you say, you know what? All right, I do need to get stronger. Even if it's just a troll messing with you, internalize it. Say, you know what? I need to get stronger. I need to put in some more work. Now, don't be an ass about it. Don't use that to make you push yourself to the point where you get hurt, to where you get injured. But, I'll even say that first injury will humble you. That first injury will be a learning lesson. It is for every one of us. But also, I would say by that same token, when people come in and criticize you, when they start critiquing your form, you better make sure they know what they're talking about. In other words, if someone doesn't like your back angle on a squat, and they're a 275 squatter, unless they're a woman. If they're a woman and they squat 275, maybe you should listen to them. But if they're a dude, just ignore them. They probably don't know what the hell they're talking about. Always look at whoever's giving you advice and see if they actually know what they're talking about. They're a nameless, faceless person, or are they a legitimate lifter? What can they do? If they either are a coach or they're a legitimate lifter themselves, then okay. But if they're not, you can safely ignore them because half the time they don't know what they're talking about. They really don't. And you can ignore those people. But by that same token, always reassess what you're doing. If you've got people who don't know what they're talking about making fun of what you're doing, fine. But if they do know what they're talking about, maybe step back and assess it. And ask yourself, are they giving you good advice or not? And if not, then ignore it. But if it's good and it's something you can incorporate, then by all means, take it under advisement. Take it under advisement. It goes for all of us. Because, other people see things we don't see. I have other coaches who actually do watch my workouts. They do watch my training footage. I do talk with them. Because sometimes they will have an eye for things that I'm missing. Because I can't always be objective with my own training. But, outside of that, I ignore everyone else who gives advice there. I don't really care what they have to say because I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they know anything or not, so I don't really care. And ultimately, guys, what you have to do is to not let the negative comments get to you. Use it for positive motivation. Either use it to motivate yourself to do what you need to do to get stronger, to improve your lifts, to gain muscle, or use it if there is some constructive advice you can take from it, then by all means take from it. But if it's just other stuff, just laugh about it, blow it off, and just keep doing your thing. Only you know how hard you're working. Only you know if you're really putting in the effort or not. That's only you know that. And make sure that you're being honest with yourself about it. Maybe people are legitimately making fun of you because you really are lazy. Maybe they're making fun of you because you really are just goofing off. You're goofing off with a bunch of silly bands and everything else that you don't need to be doing. Instead of working on the basics and building a base, then yeah, then that criticism is valid. And maybe at that point you need to step back and say, okay, well, they're making fun of me for good reason. I mean, I've been training for 3 years and I squat 315. You know, that's people should be making fun of you unless you're a girl. And if you're a girl, that's real good. But if you're a healthy young man, no, that's not acceptable. That's unacceptable. You're lazy, or you've got into some really goofy, weird ass training methods that don't produce results. Maybe you've been doing, naturally enhanced or something, in which case that makes sense. So again, guys, just learning how to use it as a valuable tool, like with anything else. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.